All right, let's talk about what do you do whenever you have a fallout, because we've talked about this in the past, but it's a little bit different when it's actually happening to you. So instead of just the steps to go along with it, I want to talk a little bit about the emotion and keeping the stress down. So there are 4 things that you need to do whenever you have a fallout. Number 1 is stay calm. And that is the most important step out of any of this. Stay calm. If you start getting too stressed out about finding this truck for a customer that you're just now closing, or whatever the case may be, maybe it's your first load, it's not going to do you any good, because it'll be harder for you to perform at your job at getting a recovery truck to get in there and getting this load picked up on time for that customer. So take a few deep breaths, get it together, and then go for number 2, which is post up that load immediately. Okay, take a few deep breaths, post up the load. See if you get any inbound calls on it. If you do get some inbound calls on it and you were able to get it recovered, nobody even has to know. You are done. That's it. 2 steps. Now, if you don't get any inbound calls, what are you going to do? Step number 3, that is going to be outbounds. So you're going to start looking at a 100-mile radius or a 50-mile radius, depending on how much time you have to get a truck in there. If it's 12 o'clock and the cutoff is 3 o'clock, that means you could probably go about 100 to 125 miles out to be able to find a truck if they're empty now. If it is obviously going to be something where you only have an hour to get a truck in, it needs to be somebody who's local and empty now. If you are able to find a truck, again, there's no need to tell the customer anything unless you are just changing the ETA. If it's by appointment and they're going to be 30 minutes late, call the customer, let them know. Which brings me to number 4, which is communicate. Communicate with your customer. Now, I'm not saying that you even have to tell the customer if you're able to get it covered and nothing changes. I actually would tell you not to. Here's the reason why. You don't want to tell a customer at 10 o'clock that you had a fallout, get them all stressed out when it's not even supposed to pick up till 3 o'clock, and then you're probably going to find somebody for it anyway, especially if it's a loose lane. So take your time, get it recovered, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be able to just get another carrier on it, take a loss if you have to, break even, or who knows, you might even make more money on that load. But don't freak out and don't go, throwing red flags at the customer when it's not needed, because you're going to stress them out. The reason that they use you is because they don't want to have the burden of this job. That is one of the main reasons. Sure, there's some other reasons like the bond and liability, but the biggest reason, in my opinion, is because nobody wants to do this job as a shipper. They want to have that middleman there to help solve some of these problems where it's our job to do that. It's our job to take care of the customer. It's our job to recover a truck when it falls out. They don't want to be dealing with those types of issues, so don't put that on their plate. You only tell the customer, in my opinion, an hour before pickup. If you don't have a truck, you tell them, hey, carrier fell out, and you give them the reason why, whatever the case may be. That's it. But I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to recover that truck, and you're going to wish, if you did tell them earlier that you had a problem, you're going to wish you didn't, because maybe they actually send it out to another broker, and then you're competing with that broker on trying to find a truck, and maybe there's not many trucks in that area, and that's going to make things even worse. So stay calm, stay collected, recover the truck, and I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, everything will be just fine.